Auzubillahi minash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Nowadays we are discussing the subject of legacy. Legacy is an overall umbrella of different topics, including tarka, wasiya. It includes, in fact, inheritance also. All these things together we are discussing as a legacy. And the topic is leave a legacy. We must try to leave a legacy. So today we will also see that what could be the components of legacy where we can consciously work and leave it as a legacy. Now, when we take stock of accounts and when we consider legacies, our legacies of other people, then no matter at what age, it's not necessary that once I become old, I'm about to die, and when I start thinking about death, then at that time I should think about leaving a legacy. Leaving a legacy is basically not only an idea, but it can be an ideal of everybody, of any person at any age. For example, a student, he is studying, and if he develops an ideal that he will build, for example, just an example, I'll build a hospital, I'll build a school, I will create something, I will innovate something. So that will become his or her legacy. So legacy doesn't wait for the death. Legacy is what we continue to do during the lifetime, from any point of our stage at any age. And when we take stock of our possessions, then usually the question comes, and many people ask, how we can decide about the legacy, what I can do. I can't do anything. I don't have the means. In fact, everybody in whatever position, at whatever level, he has something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him something to leave a legacy. Adam had been given enough. At that time, he had no scientific means, he had no scientific resources, no means of production, but still, he could leave a legacy. Therefore, one has to take a stock of all the possessions he has. For example, and among his possessions, he has knowledge, he has skill, he has something which he possesses. So at every stage of life, every person in every capacity, at any place, anywhere. Today, for example, we find, I was reading about one of the uh, persons who died in UK, and he's considered to be the first known person uh, who came to be known, that he was the first Muslim to be buried there, and he had at that time desired that he should be buried there, and it should become his legacy, whatever he has done there. So he kept those things there, and even after his death, those things became now the Shairullah. Now they are in fact the archives. Those are in fact the things which he left in history. You may leave one painting, you may leave something in your life and leave it as a legacy, and that will be remembered as your legacy, and that will be a source of light for many people. Uh, it's not only the possessions, but also the accomplishments. For example, somebody has a skill, he can do something, he has some degree related to that skill. He can think of doing something which becomes a legacy. So here the point is that to leave a legacy does not require a degree. To leave a legacy does not require a lot of wealth. That to leave a legacy does not require to be something like Einstein or Ibn Sina. Anybody, just think of your possessions and your accomplishments and select some item, one item, at least one item to make it a legacy. Now, taking stock of what has been learned, achieved, understood, known, what I know, what has been done in the past, this is all a trier of my life. If I reflect back what I've done in the past, what is being done now, all these things can help me to make a selection. And it's not necessary that I make one item, select one item to leave a legacy. There can be many items, but if I can't choose at least one item, it will be easy to choose. And what is still one hopes to do? Any age, at any age, it is the age of hope. La taqnatu min rahmatallah. It doesn't say that after 60 years of age you don't hope. Even at the age of 100, even on the deathbed, Luqman, Hazrat Luqman left a legacy, refined his legacy even at the time of death, on the deathbed. He called his sons, his children, and he advised them that how you will behave in your life, what will you do. Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam did the same thing, prophets did the same thing. So for hope, there is no specific age and no specific point in time. Hope is there always, as long as we can, we should, and we have the capacity to think we should hope. We have the hope. And that is, in fact, the fuel for life. Hope is the fuel for life. All these things, for example, we say that chlorophyll, if there is no chlorophyll, we can't have oxygen. There is no such and such thing. There can't be life. If there is no water, there is no life. But the fuel, which in fact drives at the given speed or any speed which I can adopt, that is the hope. Even at the deathbed, it is the hope which, and the studies show that the patients who have hope, they struggle against death and survive. But the moment they lose the hope, particularly cancer patients, when they come to know that now I'm dying, there's no hope, then they immediately or quickly, then the process of death is expedited within their body. What still I can do, it can be my legacy. I already said that most of us will not be scientists, for example, known scientists, so that we could be remembered. Even if we are not scientists, we can be remembered just for small things which we make big. And it should be desire of every person to be remembered. And that was basically the desire of Adam alayhi salam, that he wanted to live. He wanted to live longer. That is why he was lured by Satan. That when I tell you the elixir of life, you can live always. So, how to live always? Among the human beings, it is in fact through the legacy, so that people remember me, people know, and something which can serve as a lighthouse for others. But that does not lessen our need to create some meaning in our lives. If we can't be the scientists, if we can't be some stars, still it should not lessen our hope, and it should not lessen our desire, both the things. Just hope is not enough. After hope comes the desire. After desire comes the effort. So in this sequence, we have to first of all hope that I can still do something, and then I must have the desire. And when I have the desire, a burning desire, which burns the fuel of hope, then the engine starts working, it ignites the engine, and it starts burning. The burning desire, we call it a burning desire. then if these two things combine, then the effort can come. Otherwise, effort will not come. We will not make any effort. The hope will always remain a hope, and it will be useless. There will be no difference between being hopeful and the hopeless. Hope, desire, and then the effort. So, uh, uh, if we can't be scientists, that should not lessen the need to create something in our lives to have what we have done. What we have already done, we can select an item out of that. We can excel it. We can improve it. We can innovate it. We can make it in such a way that it becomes permanent. And thought to live, not only live, but thought to live on afterwards. After my death, I want to live. My ideas will live. Socrates, when he was punished for his ideas of oneness of God, he was the philosopher. He believed in the oneness of God. Aristotle believed in the eternal status of matter. Plato believed in the duality of God, the creator and the demiurge, the Lord, who is reigning. He thought there were two separate forces. Socrates said, no, there's one. The creator and the maintainer, the Lord, is the one. And then the philosophers who were in power, who had the power in the society, they thought that he's corrupting our youth. He's corrupting the ideas by preaching oneness of everything. So he was punished. He was given the death sentence by poison. He was put in jail before he was given the poison to drink. His friend, Crito, it is a character on which Plato has written a book. Crito is the name of the book, and Crito is the name of the friend of Socrates. He goes to Socrates in jail, and he tells him that I have come to take you out of the jail. You just run away, and when you go in exile, your life will be saved. So he said, no, I will not do this. So Crito said, don't worry about me. You know I'm influential. I have money. I can save myself, but you are my friend. I want to save your life. You go, leave. He said, no, I can save my life, but my idea will die if I run away. I want my idea to live because his idea was his ideal. It was his belief. People die for their belief. So he said, no, this is my legacy which I'm leaving. And even today, it is a legacy. But unfortunately, we talk about Socrates, but most of the people don't know what he did, why he did, what was his idea. So legacy can even be just an idea. It can just be a belief. People die for their belief. Yahya alayhi salam was given the death penalty. His head was chopped off just for his belief. He had an idea. He opposed Antipas, that he married the wife of his brother after getting him divorced. He was the governor of Rome, his brother, and during Iddat he married him. And Yahya alayhi salam had given a verdict against him. And to take revenge, that lady threw her on her daughter Salome, who was the actress, who was the dancer, on his advice. She demanded that Hazrat Yahya alayhi salam's sir may be, his head may be chopped. So people live for their ideas, people die for their ideas, and their ideas become the legacy. Their ideas become ideal. Sorry. Thought to live on after us, to be remembered in some way. There is not one way for everybody that I should be remembered just like the other person. I can have my own way. I can have my own unique way to live and be remembered. From a purely practical standpoint, if you don't pass on your life experience, just the life experience can be the legacy. If I leave it among my students, among my children, nobody else. even to my life, to my wife, even to my servants, anybody who is nearer to me, that can become my legacy. It can be pushed further. Life experience, by leaving a legacy, the wisdom we gain through decades of difficult learning. I may have passed through a difficult life. That is my experience. That can become guidance for my children. That can become guidance for my friends, for people who know, for whom I leave the legacy. And it will continue to live even after I die. My body will disappear. It will be disintegrated. It will degenerate. It will go into the ground. But my ideas will remain always there. Like Socrates said, that I will die. One day I will die. But I don't want to, I don't want that my idea should die. A legacy may take many forms. In the beginning, I said that we have to take stock, that what are my positions, what are my achievements. You select something. Children can be my legacy. Grandchildren can be my legacy. My business can be legacy. You find so many businesses around you that they have become legacies of those families. And they proudly say that it started in 200 years back. It started 1,000 years back. They maintain standard. They maintain criteria. And they created a name. Now it is not just a business. It is a standard. It has been standardized. It has become a lighthouse for others. It has become a legacy. One can make one's own business as a legacy. And then ideal, as I gave the example of Socrates' book, writing a book, even just one article. Martin Luther just wrote an article, and then he wrote another article where people commented on that. He just wrote 5 articles. There are many people who just wrote one article, one idea, and they are still remembered just for one idea, just for one article, just for one book. It's not necessary to write hundreds of books. Just write one page, write one paragraph, and that paragraph may become your legacy. Just write one couplet, a poem, it may become your legacy. And also remember that it's not necessary that if something has not become my legacy during my lifetime, it will not become. I have seen many examples in life, in history, that people's legacy was collected hundreds of years after the person died. He didn't collect himself. For example, there's one famous case in legal history and also in the history of the Indian subcontinent. One newspaper wrote an editorial in Sindh, and in that editorial, he quoted a small couplet of Shah Abdul Latif Bhittai. Usually people think that he is a Sufi poet, but people have not read the entire Risalu. His Mansur is Kedaro. That is all for struggle. It's a struggle of life. So he quoted just one couplet from that editorial, in that editorial. And on that, the newspaper was banned. The case was instituted. And then the Englishman from the East India Company at that time, he was a British man. He did not know Sindhi language at the time. He said, "What is the meaning of that?" The meaning was explained to him. So he said, he is basically the culprit. Arrest him. They say he has died 300 years back. So he said, collect all his material. So he might be misguiding the people. So that is how his Risalo was collected. Shahzado Risalo. The people say that it is the translation of Quran. It is the tafsir of Quran. I'm not going into those details, but because of this one incident, all his poetry was collected. It took years, and then it was translated in English, in Urdu, in so many other languages, and people came to know about him after hundreds of years. hundreds of years. So don't think that legacy will die. It may come up. It may resurrect anytime. If it Allah wills, if He likes your work, He will pick it up anytime. Your own home, your family tradition, may become your tarka. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling about Ibrahim alayhi salam that I made his tarka to continue. And we are as following that tarka. Quran uses the word tarka, but the Prophet, peace be upon him, gave it the status of sunnah. Prophet, peace be upon him, said, it is our sunnah of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. And how many years it took to resurrect it? About 4,000 years back. It happened about 4,000 years back. And 1,500 years back, it became our sunnah. So leave it to God. Do your best. Leave a legacy. Leave your tarka. And Allah will pick it up. Allah will accept it, inshallah. It's understandable that we would want to know how the world will remember us after we are gone. If you have faith in our idea, be sure that the world will know you, the world will remember you just because of one thing that you have left in your home, even. Just one thing. How many of us are living our lives so that our legacies reflect one legacy reflects all that we truly hold most near and dear? Just introspect. Zikr. Do this zikr within yourself. Introspection is zikr. Do it within yourself. That am I leaving any legacy or not? If not, then consider all those possessions which you have and pick up one point or a couple of points. Your life at this moment. Now we can take a stock when we decide for the legacy. Life at this moment. What happened in the past? We say, no, now time is gone. I can't do anything. But this is the moment. The moment we are breathing. Stephen Hawking could not speak. He was paralyzed totally. Till the last moment, even the blink of his eye, through the blink of his eye, he left legacy. At that age, at that stage of his health, he went to the zero gravity. He was taken to the zero gravity in the space. He wanted to experience himself. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking in the Quran that wal fajr kan mashuda. Come out of your hujra. Look at the sky, the morning sky, how it is working, how the heavens are working. Look at it. But we say, no, we are not going to look at it. Even the blink of eye, with the blink of eye, Stephen Hawking has left legacy upon legacy, number of legacies continuously. So on the deathbed, as I gave the example of Luqman, we can create a legacy. If I have not done anything, I can add to legacy. I can add more legacies. Helping you do the best you can involve thinking about your life map. It's a three-dimensional map. You are living in the three-dimensional world. If I can't do vertically, I can't rise against the gravity. If I can't go deeper into the ocean, at least I can move horizontally. Allah will make it easy. Inna ma'ya rabbi sayyadin. Musa alayhi salam said, Allah is with me. Seen has been added. Allah will make things easy for me at the time when it is needed, in time, on the dot. He will make the way for me. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it a horizontal, Qatawdin Azim platform so that they walk on it smoothly. Don't despair. Even when the deep sea is before you, even Pharaoh is following you. If we have the belief, Min Maya Rabbi Sayyadin, at the time, At that point, even at the point of death, when one is dying, even kafir is dying, he may believe at that time. La ilaha illallah. Why we tell people, why we assist people who are hanged, for example, who are given death sentence, people assist them. Remember to say at the last moment, La ilaha illallah. This is the point we started hope. The last point, not just the death bed, not just the blink of eye, but even the last moment. Pharaoh missed it. He said, I now believe in the Lord of Musa alayhi salam. But he had seen the azab, punishment, and after that he said it. Any moment is the moment to say tawbah. Any moment is the moment to create a legacy, leave a legacy. If one doesn't have some sort of life map, if you don't have, Musa alayhi salam did not have the map. He was not walking on the dotted line, except that he was on the Salat al-Mustaqim of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you are on the Salat al-Mustaqim, when we say, Ehdina Salat al-Mustaqim, does not mean that, oh Allah, show me just from a distance and you say that it is, you will take left on and then you will go home. When we say, Ehdina Salat al-Mustaqim, it means every moment, every dot, every step of my life, guide me on that path continuously. So even if we don't have the map, but we have the belief that can take us on the divine dotted line. The divine dotted line is in the mind. It is not in the ground. It was in the mind of Moses. That in the Mayya Rabbi Sayyadin, the dotted line will come up. I'll walk on that. It is in the mind. It is in the belief. He would end up wandering around hopelessly lost. If we don't have this belief, then we will be wandering hopelessly. The matter starts with hope. I said it starts with hope. Some people's maps may be incomplete and insufficient. And some people may not have the map at all. Physically, they may not have the map, only belief. Musa alayhi salam had a belief that I am on the dotted line. He will guide me. A primary challenge of human beings is, this is one of all the things which we have discussed today. Among all those things, this is the most important. That is why I have highlighted in red. The most difficult challenge for me is to live in the present. And for Muslims, this is the unfortunate thing that we are not living in the present, we are living in the past. My forefathers did this. So and so, Khalid bin Walid did this, but what I have done? We are not living in the present, we are living in the past. Muslims are not living in the present. We are not the people of the present. If we are not people of the present, and I have been repeatedly saying this, we are not in space. The next 500 years at least do not belong to us. If at this moment we are not awake to live in the present, then we are losing the next 500 years also. Because the generations and this journey of civilization, the peaks and troughs of civilization, they are about 500 years long. From Ibrahim alayhi salam to Moses alayhi salam, about 500 years. From Musa alayhi salam to Suleiman, about Dawud alayhi salam, 500 years. And then Uzair, resurrection, rewriting, creating everything again, 500 years. The destruction of the two mosques, the distance between them, historical, 500 years. When the Prophet, our Prophet comes, it is about 500 to 600 years. So the turning points in our Muslim history. You will find the first 500 years appear distinct, and then the next 500 years, and the next 500 years we're going down and down in the bottomless pit, because we are not living in the present. We are living in the past. So living in the present making choices about the present. Don't make it a point of kismat, that it's my kismat. To be poor is my kismat. To be poor is my destiny. Don't make the present as your kismat. Kismat is what you make, what you do, what you create. And for the future you create through your legacy. Living in the present, you create your future for the children, for the generations, but with the awareness of an uncertain future. Future is uncertain. We don't know what will happen next moment, what is going to happen. To make the future certain, the starting point is hope, then the desire, then the effort, and then leaving something concrete in terms of belief or in terms of idea or in terms of ideal as a legacy that will build my future, that will build my family, my children. And awareness of our own mortality, to be aware of the certainty of death, that death will come. I will die. This is certain. Now, this should become not the point of hopelessness, but this should be the driving force, that I have to die. Therefore, before death, I have to create it. Wala yamut, wala tamutun. Until you accept taslim, you are Muslims, that you are practicing Muslims, that you work on it, you make an effort, and you create it. Don't die before that. Create it. I will leave it here, but just with this sentence. But life is full of opportunities when we have to make important decisions with limited information. This is another topic, in fact. So I'll leave it here. We'll start, inshallah, next time from here. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzat amma yasifun. Assalamun ala al-mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك اللهم لنا فيما أعطيت. اللهم ادخلنا برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. اللهم اخرجنا من ظلمات الجهل والوهم إلى نور العلم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم اجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. اللهم اكفنا بحلالك عن حرامك وبطاعتك عن معصيتك وبفضلك عن من سواك. اللهم بفضلك ورحمتك أعلى كلمة الحق والدين. اللهم انصر الإسلام وعز المسلمين يا أكرم الأكرمين. Oh Allah, spread your mercy upon us, shower us with your blessings, increase our knowledge, grant us forgiveness, and reward us with the company of the prophets in the Firdaus al-A'la. Oh Allah, forgive our parents and all our friends and relatives who have passed away. Oh Allah, make their graves garden from heaven and grant them the Firdaus al-A'la. Oh Allah, we have many of our friends and relatives who are sick. Oh Allah, we have our son Ma'raj, our daughter Aisha Wani, and many others. Oh Allah, grant all of them full and speedy recovery. Oh Allah, guide our children, protect them and make them righteous. Oh Allah, grant us the power and the ability that we may be grateful for the favor that you have bestowed upon us and our parents, and that we may do righteous deeds that are pleasing to you. Oh Allah, we seek from you all of the good, whether we know it or we don't. And we seek your refuge from all evil, whether we know it or we don't. Oh Allah, we seek your refuge from incapacity, from laziness, from fear, from greed, from poverty, and from the torment of the grave. Oh Allah, we have many of our brethren who live under oppression and injustice. Oh Allah, heal their trauma, protect their helpless, and grant them lasting peace and prosperity. Oh Allah, we ask you every name you have elected for yourself, that none of us leave this gathering, but his pains have been relieved, his worries have been removed, his debts have been paid, his weaknesses have been concealed, his sins have been forgiven, and his needs have been fulfilled. Subhanallah wa bihamdih. عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبحان الله وبحمده. عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبحان الله وبحمده. عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.